ain't tell y'all? You tuning into the best morning show on the globe. It's Bradham and Emery in the morning, y'all. LeBron or Jordan, either one when I'm performing. Crossover, buzzer beater and I'm scoring. Bradham and Emery in the morning. Every play they on it. Every day I'm balling. Who's the coach? Who's the GOAT? Like Brady and Belichick, best show on the globe. And they embellish it. Y'all pin Ziffy, I'm Ken Griffey or maybe Mahomes. I stay in the zone, whether man to man or play in the zone. They can't stop me. Mayweather boxing, Curry with the shot, man. We just the best to be. Can we have our SB, please? This was meant to be. Every morning with Bradham and Emery.
Yes, sir. You know the vibes, Brad in the morning. Marques, Brad, Justin, Emery.
Yo, what's going on?
Sixers basketball was going on.
Yeah, man, that was a great game.
Let's just get right to it.
That was a great game. Hold on. Got some things I got to get to the top of it so people understand that we're actually trying to attribute some real knowledge to the show before we're just talking nonsense.
All right.
First off, congratulations to us.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Do we need the music for it?
I think we need a Bremy.
Oh, okay. Congratulations to us for celebrating a milestone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Today, Thursday, March 25th, this episode marks the 50th episode of the Bradham and Emery in the morning show.
50 episodes.
Yes. 50. I mean,
it's huge.
It's big time.
It's big time.
We're halfway to being a real show.
Halfway there.
Halfway to being a real show, and the regular and the average show fades out after 7 episodes. So we're really in there.
Yeah, so we've bodied that.
Yes, we have. Forgot to mention yesterday, Wednesday, 24th was National Cheesesteak Day. Forgot to shout that out.
Yeah,
that's my fault.
And we had J. Cole in there. We could have had a cheesecake combo.
It's my
fine.
It's my fault.
Okay.
It's my fault. Like I said, as far as I was concerned, yesterday didn't happen. So it's my own fault.
That's all right.
But celebrating, I guess we don't need that anymore now to get into this. But like I said, shout out to us.
Yes.
Episode 50.
Yes.
Some facts that happened today. 1958, Sugar Ray Robinson wins the middleweight title.
Wow.
Shout out to the living room.
Shout out to the living room. He loved that. He loved that.
He was all about that.
Yeah.
Also in 1967, MLK Jr. leads the march against the Vietnam War.
Okay.
Like I said,
that's about it.
That's about it.
All right.
Maryland was the colony of Maryland was founded.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I had to say that because if I didn't and Ree found out that
She'd
it
be
was
upset.
today, yeah. I mean, I don't think she's sitting here looking up when the colony of Maryland was founded.
Right.
But in the off chance that she is, I got it covered.
You got it covered. You're good with it.
Yeah. This could be a great show. That pen got me ready to roll on the way over here.
I like it.
Yeah.
So, Sixers, this road trip is going swimmingly.
Yeah.
This is going exactly the way I kind of wanted to go. Now, you're getting...
I believe 7-1 since the All-Star break. Is that correct?
Yes.
6-1 maybe?
Only one. I know there's only one loss.
Yeah.
Since the All-Star break.
I'll pull it up while you're talking.
I'm not, but they're playing high-level elite basketball, and they're like, when you're a really good team, the thing you're really good at is taking care of business and beating teams you're supposed to beat convincingly, and they're getting to the point now where they're doing that. You know, the Warriors, no Steph Curry last night.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their heart and soul.
Yeah.
I mean, Draymond Green, while I do believe he's a good basketball player, he can't carry you. He can't do the things you need to do.
Do you want to talk about him real quick? He also made some headlines. You want to get into that later, or
I
now?
definitely want to talk about that statement he made because we definitely need to address that. But they don't have the horses without Steph right now. They just don't. And the Sixers went out there and just blew the doors off in the first half.
Yeah,
the first half they took their hearts. They were up 35-15 at one point. Nice, easy, lead at halftime. And the second half, you cruise. Tobias Harris gives you 25 and 13. He is looking every bit like an all-star, repeatedly, inconsistently. Ben Simmons gives you 22. The typical Ben numbers of assists and rebounds, but the 22 is nice because you need that from him on
especially
a night when you don't have,
especially without Seth Curry as well.
Right, you got no Seth Curry, you got no Embiid. Yeah, you definitely need him. You get nice numbers from Danny Green. 11, couple threes. Tony Bradley gives you really good minutes. He gives you 18 and 11, Tony Bradley. He's been playing really, really well. Dwight Howard has been a man amongst boys. I love the adjustment of Doc Rivers starting Tony Bradley and continuing to bring
Dwight off
the bench.
Yep.
Because Dwight Howard's those
week.
minutes are so valuable for him. You don't want to tamper with that. And again, when we talk about this is being dad and making those decisions because it's a low hanging fruit to start Dwight Howard. Like that's what you think you would do. Like okay, Embiid's out, I'm gonna start Dwight Howard. But you see it's not working, and you see it's not. He's not as effective as he was in other roles.
Yeah.
So what do? You say okay. We'll start Tony Bradley, and we'll bring Dwight off the bench and let Dwight be Dwight and do the things he's been doing. Shake gives you a nice number off the bench, 13, 4, and 2. So, your balance here, Korkmaz gives you 12.
I want to talk about a specific Korkmaz play.
Okay.
I believe it was in the second quarter. Might have been the end of the first, but I believe it was in the second quarter. He's coming down, and I hate watching him dribble the ball. Though we have mentioned he's improving, but I still hate.
It's weird. Yeah,
I hate watching it.
Yeah, it's weird.
I hate it almost as much as I hate watching Dwight Howard dribble the ball.
Yeah,
I really hate that.
Or shoot 17-foot jump shots.
Yeah, I really for some reason he'll get the ball at the top of the key and then try to come downhill dribbling it.
Yeah,
and I watch him lose handle of it. So it's like watching me try to dribble the ball. Like it ain't gonna cut.
It's
not working. So he lines up. He comes. So he starts on the left side.
Right.
Dribbles over to the right wing for the three. Shoots it. Misses terribly. But to his credit, he follows the shot. Gets his own rebound. I don't think anyone on either team expected him to follow his own rebound, let alone get his own rebound.
Right.
Because he gets it right at the block, and the Warriors' defense is so confused that he can go up and dunk it. He's tall enough to dunk. Was he 6'7"?
Yeah.
He's big enough to dunk. I've seen him dunk before.
Right.
He kicks it back out for a turnover.
He one of those situations where sometimes like.
Did you recall the play I'm talking about?
I don't remember seeing that, but it's what we're describing as a guy. Sometimes that happens. You're just like, how did I even get here?
Yeah,
like he was definitely like, I wasn't expecting this to happen either.
It was like how like when they freeze in the movies, it's like, I bet you're asking how I got here. Like, that's what it was.
Yeah,
that's what I felt like. And I'm watching. I'm like, go right back up with it.
Right.
No, he sits on it, kicks it back out for a turnover.
Yeah, I mean,
I know I'm nitpicking. They were up like 18, 19, 20 points at the time.
It's a bad play though. It's not a good play.
Like it was. Doc Rivers said at halftime, "I'm tired of the sloppy turnovers."
Yeah. He again. What I love about Doc, even after the next game on Sunday, after they won in overtime, he said, "This team's lucky that I got to spend some time with my grandson and Austin before the game." But like, it's nice that even in a win, he sees okay.
Does Austin play for the Knicks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He sees okay. You know what? This isn't it. We need to pick it up with and there are the turnovers that do happen, but at the same time, you're still getting these wins, and these wins are important to keep pace because the Sixers still are the number one seed in the East. They're still number one seed in the East, and now you look at this road trip, it looks completely different now because now you got the Lakers with no LeBron, no AD coming up.
Do you know, is Embiid on the road trip or no? I didn't
see him last night.
I didn't see him last night, but I didn't get word.
I'm going to assume, he might join them later. Maybe he'll join them, but I didn't see him.
I wouldn't bring him if you don't plan on playing him.
I feel the same way. He doesn't need to be there.
So if you see him, I expect to see him on this trip.
Yeah, but I don't think we will. But,
as you said, L.A.
And then you got Denver, which is going to be tough. Oh, I'm sorry. I think the Clippers then Denver.
Yeah. But that's what I was saying is both those L.A. games, you were thinking they might go 0-2 in L.A.
Right.
Now you're looking at what you should go split potentially. Like I was saying earlier this week that there's just something not right about the Clippers. I don't know what it is.
I agree.
It's they got top-end talent. They have good bench play.
Mm-hmm.
They have a good coach. They have a good front office. They have one of the best owners in the league. They're in one of the best markets, but it's not working.
Yeah,
and I don't know what the answer is, but I know that this ain't it. Like, you know how you might not understand every sport. Like like my example was, I don't really watch hockey. Like, I understand what's going on in the game, but like little things I don't know. But when something doesn't look right, I can say I know that this isn't how hockey's supposed to be played. And sometimes I feel that way about the Clippers. Like, it just, why isn't it working? It should. On paper, everything matches up, but it's not working.
I agree. And that's why they lost. That's why I think they lost Montrezl Harrell in the offseason, because things weren't right. There was a lot of talk about them in the bubble and they not getting along. Paul George couldn't figure it out. He was saying ridiculous things, which led to Doc Rivers being fired, which I still think was a mistake, because I don't think it was Doc Rivers' fault that they imploded in the playoffs. I think it was sometimes it's the players.
Do you think that Kawhi? Well, let me think of how to phrase this, because obviously he was the man in Toronto, and I don't want to take that away from him. But at the same time, would you ever really consider Toronto his team, though?
He put a lot of pressure on himself when he came to LA.
So my question basically is, as a true number one, and like I said, I hesitate saying that because I know he really was the number one in Toronto, but we all know he was a hired mercenary that season.
Yeah.
You know, they traded for him just went. Did we ever really think Kawhi was going to resign in Toronto?
No.
Like, so that he just went out there and said, "All right, I'm going. If I'm going to be brought in as a mercenary, I'm going to win it."
Yeah.
San Antonio, he had Pop, head coach, Duncan and Ginobili, and the list goes on. Everybody knows who he played with in San Antonio. In LA, though, he is the name. It's his team. Paul George is a name. He's not Kawhi Leonard, though.
Yeah, I would venture to say in Toronto also, like, even though he was there, that was still Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, they had but I mean, when it comes to the undisputed best,
yeah, he's the best player, but that was Kyle Lowry.
Yeah, and they also had Gasol
right
there. They had a couple other guys veterans in the league, who have been around.
Danny Green was on that team.
Yes, but my question is with as much of a introvert and a recluse Kawhi Leonard is, as the man, can his team win? Like I said, I understand he was the man in Toronto, but he really wasn't the man in Toronto.
Yeah, it was because those guys, which are basically those guys, could do things that he doesn't do. Like, Kawhi's a guy, I'm gonna go out and play and ball. I don't know how he is talking teammates up and coaching people up. And
I don't think I mean,
and
from the outside looking in,
going back to his San Antonio days when there was Duncan there was Ginobili, there was Parker, so he could just worry about playing. And then, so it makes sense that him now supposedly be doing those things. He's struggling in those areas because never been someone he did. And like I said,
that's not his personality.
No, I think too he put a lot of pressure on himself when he went to LA, because after that championship
he was a made man. He
rolled out that commercial. The commercial, which, I mean, it was the New Balance commercial, where this is Kawhi City, all stuff like that, which was a lot of people thought were shots at LeBron, saying, "Yo, I'm here now. I'm an LA guy. This is my town. I'm the reigning MVP. I just won a championship. This is mine." So people were expecting what? Clippers, Lakers conference finals. That doesn't happen. You guys lose to the Denver Nuggets. Nobody saw that coming. That wasn't supposed to happen. So then, now your stock goes down. Then you lose free agents. There's questions about your team chemistry. The people you brought, like, they brought in guys like Nick Batum. Nick Batum, though, like, I don't know what he's gonna do for you in the playoffs.
Nothing.
You got a bunch of guys. I mean, Pat Bev is back, but I've always, for me, Patrick Beverley, like Russell Westbrook said, he got y'all fooled. Like, he makes you guys think he's way better than he actually is. He is not this ball hawking elite
he's a nice player, but
he's an above average defender. He's not Ben Simmons.
Oh no,
He's
no.
not. He never. But he never was that type of. He never was that type of defender. And he had people.
He's a value Russell Westbrook from an energy standpoint.
Yeah, he's great value Russell Westbrook. Yeah, I agree. Energy wise, yeah, and not nearly the idea of the scorer Russell Westbrook ever made.
No, I mean Russell Westbrook. When you put him on the floor, it's instant energy, instant. I don't want to call it instant offense because he can score, but he's not.
Yeah.
He's not James Harden.
No.
He's not Kevin Durant.
Right.
He's not Trae Young. He's not Steph Curry, Dame Lillard as far as instant offense. You put him in. But you put Westbrook on the floor, things are going to happen.
And Paul George just isn't the same guy since playoff P. I don't know what's going on with him.
I was never. I mean,
he had a great when it was Indiana, it was him, Roy Hibbert, Danny Granger, like that team. Like he was a force, and like he's shown flashes of that, but I don't know what the deal is with him. Like again, going back to the bubble, he was saying some wild, weird things in the bubble. Like he was struggling mightily. Like that's the reason why they lost that series. Really, Kawhi Leonard played well. Kawhi Leonard didn't play well in Game 7. He didn't have a good in Game 7. But
funny.
Paul George had a really bad playoffs.
You put these NBA players in a bubble and they can't hop on IG and things go crazy.
Right. Can't DM, no DMs or anything. You can't handle it. But yeah, so you look going forward to the Sixers with this trip. This trip looks a lot different than it did going into it like a week or two ago.
Now, real quick, did you know the Sixers have already played 5 overtime games this year?
I did. I knew the number was really high. Yes.
That seems like a lot.
It's a lot. They've had a lot of close games, but I was gonna say I was watching the game on. I go back to the next game on Sunday, and I know in the fourth quarter they kind of fumbled the bag a little bit. Toby missed some free throws down the stretch, but it's interesting watching on the overall scope.
3-2 in overtime.
It's interesting watching the overall scope them perform well under pressure. I'm not used to seeing that. Like that overtime, like I'm watching this unfold. They get down 2 or 3. I'm like, okay, it's probably when things are gonna go. And they end up going ahead. Like Toby's 3, when they're down 4, the minute to go. Danny Green's step back 3 to keep all the stuff. Tobias Harris knocking those 2 free throws down at the end of the game. These are things that we're not used to seeing from the Sixers. This is not a team cool, calm under pressure is not something we typically see. Now, the next part of this conversation is frustrating for me because I feel like, and like I said this before a couple weeks ago, but I feel like because of the nationally, the reputation of this team because of everything of the past couple years of how they were the NBA's darlings and everyone was picking them to go to the finals, stuff like that. Everyone's now being really hard on this team and comparing it to those teams. But I'm here to tell you, this team is very different than those teams.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, I think it's irresponsible of the national media to not recognize how different this team is.
Wait, hold on. So the national media is deciding not to look at the bigger picture? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
I'm shocked.
You're right.
I'm stunned.
We talk about low-hanging fruit. I mean, the national media is typically low-hanging fruit. And, it's unfortunate because, first of all, there's never been a time in this past couple run that the Sixers have ever been a number 1 seed. Maybe for a day. Maybe. But I'm gonna say no. They've been a number 1 seed the entire season. Bell to bell. Number 1 seed. So
I don't really
I get it. The Nets are the darlings now. Everyone Nets. However, look at the Nets. They beat the Blazers last night. James Harden is balling. No question about it. He's playing unbelievable.
Kyrie's missing a couple games now.
Has talked himself in the MVP conversation. However, I will go back to what I keep saying about this team. We still have not seen them for a substantial amount of time with the big 3. Durant, Irving, Harden. What does that look like?
Well, you're aware of the recent Kevin Durant news, right?
How I think about it out longer?
Yeah, there might be another setback.
Yep.
Well, I don't want to say a setback because whenever you say setback, it always sounds like the player did something wrong.
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
want to say
it's lingering.
Yes.
It's lingering, and now you have Kyrie, who's having issues on top of that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that he's going through his personal issues right now, and I don't want to make fun of him for doing that, but we have shown in the past that Kyrie, when he says personal issues, that could be a very wide
Scope. Yeah.
Wide.
We don't know what that means.
We don't know if he's celebrating his birthday somewhere,
right?
Or if he had like a passing in the family.
Right. We don't know.
We don't know. And he can just turn around and have a flat Earth day and ruin the entire Brooklyn Nets season.
And like, do you here's the thing too is like, do you going into the playoffs? Do you trust Kyrie Irving to get through the playoffs without a major incident or a game where he affects his team?
No.
Where his head's just not in it. He's not like
I thought I was
listen.
I thought I was joking when I said this. It was Kyrie's birthday yesterday. I said that jokingly, not knowing it was actually his birthday yesterday.
Yeah. So you go with him, and like he like let's not take away from the fact that he hit one of the biggest shots in NBA history. We're playing with Cleveland, no question. After that, though, look at his playoff reputation. Look at him in Boston. Not good.
Oh no,
not good at all. Like, he did not play well at all in Boston when he was the guy. Now, he's not the guy in Brooklyn necessarily. However, we talked about the three of them and who's going to have to take the back seat. We both agreed that Kyrie is the guy who needs to take the back seat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that he's willing to take the back seat.
Oh, he's absolutely not willing.
And it's been dictated by the shots. Like, if you look at it, the guy that's really taking the back seat is James Harden. James Harden has completely changed the way he plays to fit these guys. And, you know, it's actually made me respect James Harden even more the way he's playing in Brooklyn. Because I think a lot of people didn't think he was capable of playing this style of basketball, but he is. I mean, he's playing really, really well, really good basketball. But I just say I look at the Nets, and like, everyone needs to just relax on the Nets. They like, what have they shown you saying that, oh my God, Sixers can't beat this team? And
Nothing.
The Sixers
Nothing
right now,
at all.
Sixers are number one seed, and they're not even a complete product yet because we don't know what's going to happen at this trade deadline. We have no idea what improvements they're going to make. Like, I know they're going to make improvements. I know Daryl Morey's been on the phone. I know he's on the phone. I know he's working the lines.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to get into some of those names in a couple minutes. But I know that the Sixers are making moves in strides to improve their product. So they're the number one seed. They are the best team in the NBA right now. And they're missing the best player, who, oh, by the way, is an MVP candidate. I don't understand what you don't understand. Like, listen, if you want to say to me that, you know, the Sixers, I see them get to the East Conference Challenge, it's going to be a challenge with the Nets. It's going to be a tough series. We'll see where it goes. Okay, I could go with that. I'm okay with that. But you can't tell me right now the Sixers are not the best team in the East right now. You can't tell me that, especially when you're looking at a team in Brooklyn, like I said, that are missing 2 out of their big three. Is this Joe? Are we scared of Joe Harris?
No.
Are we scared of Blake Griffin?
Absolutely not.
Like, I don't get it. It's just the disrespect. And again, it's a low-hanging fruit of the past couple years' disappointments with this team. But I don't see how you can't look at this team right here, the way they were playing basketball, and say, okay, this team is different. And with a team that as talented as Sixers, coaching makes a difference. Taking out Brett Brown, who, listen, like Brett, seems like a nice guy, but he was a dunderhead. Taking out the dunderhead and then replacing him with Doc Rivers is a major deal for a team as talented as Sixers. Bringing in Daryl Morey to run your front office for a team as talented as Sixers is a big deal. These are huge acquisitions. This was a rare case where making front office moves was bigger than making on-court moves in the offseason.
No doubt about it.
And that's not usually the case. Usually you start with the field or the court, whatever.
I said that on earlier this week, I said that my vote for the best acquisition for the Sixers was Doc Rivers.
Yeah. No question.
None of the players.
No question.
I mean, if you want to, I don't think that you
Doc Darrell.
Yeah, if you want to, do the two of them together, intertwine them.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Acquisition. Or I will give honorable mention to whoever Embiid's nutritionist is.
Yes.
Now I understand they're not necessarily a team employee. I'm assuming it's not a team employee.
Also, I'm going to give shout out to Arthur Embiid too. I think he's part of it too.
Yes.
Young Arthur. Those are the most important things that happened to the Sixers this year. But that being said, those changes were so huge, it affected the culture of the franchise. It affected the locker room of the franchise. And then Daryl Morey comes in, and he flips a disjointed team and brings in guys that make sense with what the Sixers were trying to do. He looked at their best players and said, okay, what do Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid need to be successful?
Mm-hmm.
What do they need? What do we need to get them to make sure they are as successful as they can be this season? And then he goes out and he does it. He goes out and he makes it happen. And, I know we're personally attached to it because we follow this team every day, and that's a problem about being national media is that you don't get to look at these teams if they're not the darling franchises. Like the national media are looking at the Nets, looking at the Lakers. Oh, we have to cover the Jazz because the Jazz are on this incredible run. The Phoenix Suns have become a sexy team. The Sixers have fallen out of favor with the national media. They've fallen out of favor with them. So because they've fallen out of favor with them, we don't pay attention to them. We're not prepared. We don't know what they're doing on night and out. But you know what, though? I do. You do. And I feel like the Sixers, they're not going to surprise me. They may not surprise you. But they're going to surprise a lot of people in the playoffs. Because this team you're going to see come May, June, and possibly July is going to be very different than the team you've seen the past couple of years. This is not the team that played Boston. This is not the team that played Toronto. This is not the team that played Boston last year in the bubble. This is a very different basketball team with a very different mentality, and they are coming for throats.
I could not have worded it any better myself. I agree with everything you said. Remember the Toronto game? I think it was the Toronto game where it was Jimmy Butler and Harris and Embiid, and they blew the doors off of Toronto that one game.
Game 3.
It was Game 3.
Mm-hmm.
It was right when Game of Thrones came out, like the final season.
Mm-hmm.
Now I never really watched Game of Thrones, so I might get the characters wrong. And all you Game of Thrones people,
sorry.
Sorry. I believe it's the god of death or someone in it. Apparently he has his crew or someone around him in the episode, basically making him invincible.
Mm-hmm.
And it compared Brett Brown to that person when you have Harris and Butler and Embiid and Simmons.
Right.
And sub that with Doc Rivers this year, with Embiid and Simmons and Harris and Lowry? Lonzo. Matisse with Dwight Howard, with Curry and Green.
Yeah.
Let's make it. I mean, I said that when the year the Eagles won the Super Bowl,
mm-hmm.
I joked all season. I was like, the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, the team, the players, the fans, the entire anything associated with the Philadelphia Eagles, they were metaphorically storming the NFL's castle, and they were taking whatever they wanted.
Right.
They had the draft that year,
mm-hmm.
home field advantage, and a Super Bowl parade.
Yep.
They came and took what they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about the Sixers. The Sixers, their front office, their players, the fan base, we're storming the NBA castle, and we're taking whatever we want.
Right. And listen,
it's becoming a periodic thing of them getting 20-point leads in the first quarter.
Right. In the first quarter, you know how hard that is to get a 20-point lead in the first quarter?
Like, the closest – now, I understand they lost the 24-point lead at one point in time.
Mm-hmm.
They're shorthanded, and some of it was sloppy play. They got a big lead, and then they started playing sloppy.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
Right.
But they're human.
Right.
The closest that these games are at tip-off.
Right.
The first 12 minutes into the game, you have a 24-point lead.
Right. Right.
It's crazy.
When it comes to this team and the media again, like there's going to these conversations that we're having now, and it's frustrating for us because we see it. We see it every day. We see how well this team is playing. But, it goes without saying, too, with the NBA, Adam Silver, those guys don't want this to happen. They don't want this to happen.
They want Brooklyn, L.A.
Right. They want Brooklyn, L.A., and also, too, the grudge the NBA has against the Sixers for how – because listen, if the Sixers win a championship in the
validates the process.
Couple years, it validates the process. There's going to be a major deal made out of that. There's going to be a documentary, maybe a 30 for 30. All of that.
Big things will happen.
Big things will happen if this win a championship with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
Big things will happen. And the NBA, they don't want franchises doing this because what did we say when we did the process? The Sixers beat the system.
Yes.
They beat the system. And
they
the NBA
took the manual they were given, the playbook they were given, and said, okay, how can we operate within these guidelines to do what we want to do? And that's what they did.
Because what this
broke the system.
Right. What this blueprint would be great for is small market teams.
Yeah.
Like if you're the Memphis Grizzlies or you're the Oklahoma City Thunder,
yes,
teams of that nature, this is perfect for you. So you're watching this saying, okay.
I mean,
if
you think about it,
be us.
Unintentionally, Oklahoma City did a process. Unintentionally.
Yeah.
They drafted Durant and Westbrook and Harden.
Right.
And I believe there was a fourth.
Ibaka.
There. Mm-hmm. They didn't. It wasn't intentional.
Right.
Now, it just so happens that they couldn't keep them all
because
by the time they all meshed, you couldn't keep them all.
Right.
But Oklahoma City did something. They didn't unintentionally. They didn't purposely lose.
Right.
They just sucked.
Right. They weren't good, and they didn't get good until they got all the pieces there. Then all of a sudden it's like, whoa.
They scouted properly. They drafted properly. They developed the players properly.
Right.
To where they are.
Right. If
now.
you want to go all the way back to the early '90s with Orlando Magic, they kind of did a process too where they draft Shaq, they end up getting back-to-back number one picks. They get Shaq, they get Penny, back-to-back years, and around that they bring in Nick Anderson and Dennis Scott and guys of that nature. And all of a sudden, you're 1993, 94, 95, 96. You got a little bit of run going. So it's happened in history. Sort of, but the way the Sixers did, they were blatant about it.
Yes, they were like, "That's what we're doing."
They were blatant about it. They purposely tried to lose.
Yes,
that's what makes the NBA so upset with them, and why they brought they bring in the Colangelos, which again, that's egg on the NBA's face. But they brought in these Colangelos, and we saw how that happened. All the things that happened with that foolishness when they forced the hand of the Sixers kind of to do that. So there's a lot of bad blood between the Sixers and the NBA.
Yeah,
and
I would not be. Like we always say for the NFL, Robert Kraft hates Roger Goodell.
Yeah.
Jerry Jones hates Roger Goodell. Jeffrey Lurie, meh.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's not
the Al Davis Art Modell situation. The 30-30 were done on about a month ago.
I don't know if Josh Harris has the best outlook on Adam Silver.
I wouldn't.
Now, I understand Josh Harris is a kind of a different guy when it comes to personality. But, I mean, could you imagine if it's Mark Cuban owning the Sixers and that happens?
This is what I was going to say. They're lucky it's Josh Harris because, like what I talked about with Carson Wentz yesterday, how we don't know after the Green Bay game the conversations that took place. We don't know the emails the NBA sent to the Sixers during this whole thing. Because Adam Silver was out vocal about how irate he was about the process and about the losing. He was saying stuff vocally. So imagine those emails behind the scenes and things. Now, if you're Mark Cuban, you're going to the press and say, hey, look what they're sending me. Look what they're doing. Josh Harris is not going to do that.
Yeah.
So we'll never be privy to that information, but I'm sure, and maybe this is
being
saved for the 30 for 30. Maybe we're going to get that then, but I know, there has to be emails sent from the NBA to the Sixers saying, yo, what are we doing here? This is not okay. Because the Sixers are, if you look at, even though the Sixers the past 20 years haven't been successful, they're still looked at as a cornerstone franchise in the NBA. This is interesting. When Michael Jordan was drafted in '84, he did an interview, those post-draft interviews.
Yeah.
And he said, this is going to blow your mind, He said, I hope one day when it's all said and done, the Bulls are looked at like the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Sixers. Think about that.
Yeah.
That's how the Sixers were looked at and have been looked at.
If you look through history, the Sixers are one of the most winningest franchises in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean,
their lows are low.
Right.
Make no mistake, their lows are low, but as far as
you look at that
consistency,
look at that
winning
77 to 83 that run, and then the late 60s that run with Wilt Chamberlain. But it's been a while since they've been that prominent. They've got it back the past 5 years, but they've always been a cornerstone franchise of the NBA.
Oh, for sure.
So that's why it stung even more that they decided to do this process, and why the NBA was so upset. Because listen, Sixers are the Philadelphia. Like it, love them or hate it, love us or hate us, we are people you want on TV.
The
you
Philadelphia market.
Games,
if you're picking, say, the top 5 markets that you want to pull sports from, it's Boston, New York, LA, Chicago, and Philly.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'd say the 6th one would probably be maybe DC.
Yeah.
Maybe DC, maybe Houston, maybe Dallas, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking the top 5, it's Boston, New York, Philly, Chicago, LA, in no particular order.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Philly, you won on national TV, and you took – the NBA's looking like you took 4 or 5 years where we literally could not put you on television.
Colin Cowherd, say what you want about him. Now, obviously, everybody listening knows I'm a fan. Say what you want about him. When he takes shots at the Eagles, you think that's not calculated?
Right. And the Philly fan base. Because they know these guys know they'll get watched, they'll get views, they'll get shares, they'll get comments. It'll cause reaction. Like if he said this stuff about Indianapolis,
I mean, you'll get reaction from any fan base. It's just there's
not as strong.
Well, I was going to say there's certain fan bases that are louder than others.
Right.
Like you'll get whether
LA, he couldn't do that. Like the Rams, you're not going to get much from them, or the Chargers.
Well, it's a little bit different because he's based in LA, so
right.
that's him just going after the local market. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But like if he went after, say, the Patriots, or
right.
he went after the Giants,
right.
or he went after the Cowboys, or he went after now nobody really seems to care, but if he went after the Texans,
right.
or if he went after the Packers,
right,
the Bears, he's getting pushback. Like I understand your point. I get your point, though.
Yeah.
Your point's.
We're gonna take a break, and when we come back, we're gonna get into the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
We're here. It's time.
We're here. We're there. We're everywhere.
Exactly. Bradman in the morning. Marques Brown, Justin Emery. We'll be right back. Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys today about my friends at Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream. USA Today selected Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream as the best ice cream parlor in Pennsylvania. Uncle Mike's is a family-owned and dedicated to the production of premium quality and gourmet ice cream and sorbet, made fresh daily on the premises using the highest quality ingredients available. Uncle Mike's features over 30 unique delicious flavors offered in scoops, sundaes, shakes, and special order ice cream cakes and pies. Uncle Mike's Homemade Ice Cream is located at 537 York Road in Warminster and is open all year round. Visit Uncle Mike's and let their friendly staff serve you happiness one scoop at a time.
Hey everybody, I want to tell you about Beef Jerky Outlet. 110 Lincoln Highway in Langhorne, right at the corner of Business Route 1 and Oxford Valley Road. Check them out online at beefjerkyoutlet.com/Langhorne. Use promo code BREMI for 10% off your orders. You can check out, they have all sorts of them. Everything you could think of beef jerky, they have. They have a ton of other stuff too. Spices, barbecue sauces, peanuts, all different kind of things. My personal favorite, the honey barbecue turkey jerky. Head up there. Sharon and Michael will take great care of you. Again, use promo code BREMI for 10% off your order at beefjerkyoutlet.com/Langhorne.
Hi, I'd like to talk to you guys about my friends at Amy's Pizza. Amy has a plethora of pizzas for your munching pleasure, especially pizzas such as Hawaiian, margarita, and taco. Taco actually being my personal favorite. And also plenty more. If it's sandwiches you desire, they've got those too. Cheesesteaks, burgers, hoagies, even gyros. Amy's offers pickup and takeout options. Also, they're available on Grubhub. Amy's located at 332 York Road in the heart of Hatboro. You can call them today at 215-957-1000. Again, that's 215-957-1000. Yeah, man. Welcome back. Brian Emery in the morning. Marcus Brown, Justin Emery. So trade deadline conversation.
It is today at 3 o'clock, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Is it 3 or 4?
I think 4.
4 o'clock.
I mean, 3 or 4. One of the two.
It's in the afternoon.
Yes. So when it comes to Sixers, the Sixers we know are going to be active. Like, I have no doubt in my mind they're going to be active.
A move will be made.
What it's going to be now.
Maybe
the popular
even 2
name.
moves.
Yeah, the popular name is Kyle Lowry.
Yes.
That's the name we're hearing a lot. I find it interesting that we've been seeing a lot of Tyrese Maxey over the past couple days. He's a guy.
Tyrese Maxey.
He's a guy that's been out of the rotation.
I just got a good look at him yesterday for the first time. Like a good look at him.
Alternative tie.
Listen, okay. He was best friends with Kyle growing up.
Yeah.
You can tell him
and Kyle were starting fires. Definitely were starting fires.
Like, I might even go as far as to say is Tyrese has no chance. Like, he was sucked in to be friends with Kyle from the jump.
It was supposed to happen.
Whew.
Yeah,
he has been. I don't want to say that he's gotten on Doc's bad side because I'm not sure that he has really been able to get a chance
Doc's
to get
been
on his
critical
bad
of him.
side.
Well, Doc took him out of the rotation. Doc had him in rotation early in the season, took him out for a substantial amount of time. Tyrese Maxey he came out and said, listen, like, I want to do whatever I can do to help this team win. If it's me being a practice guy this year, that's what it's going to be.
But what I'm saying is I don't think he's gotten to the point. I don't think he's had an opportunity to have Doc sour on him.
No, I don't think that's it. But I also believe that if you're going to –
was he, 19?
If he's gonna be in a trade package, people want to see him.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting. You've seen now.
Well, the rumor going into the game was that Maxey originally was a healthy scratch. Now, obviously, he played the game.
Yeah.
But there was a rumor going around that he was a healthy scratch before the game. So, if the trade deadline's coming up, why do you put somebody on a healthy scratch usually?
Right, because you're talking about him now.
You see that more so in baseball than really any other sport.
A guy I have to kind of retract a little bit on is Lonzo Ball. Lonzo Ball, I said about a week ago, was kind of a poor man's Ben Simmons, which I still sort of agree with. But his 3-point numbers are better than I thought they were.
Yeah, they are. He's
shooting 38% from 3.
Yes, this year he's shooting very good from
which kind of changed my perception a little bit because he gives you another wing defender. Now, he's still my number 1 pick, but if the Sixers acquire him, I'm not going to be upset about it. Now, new names hit the market. Some of these names I'm in, some of these names not so much. Well, one name I'm out. 2 names I'm in. 2 names I'm out.
You ever seen that GIF of from The Hangover where he's sitting there and the numbers are flying
Yeah.
around? That's what I got right now when you're trying to explain it. I got 1. No, I got 2.
Yeah,
No, there's 3. There's 3 and 1.
So Aaron Gordon now is on the trade block.
I'm out.
I'm out. That's the one I'm out.
Yeah, I'm out.
Bogdan Bogdanović in Atlanta. I
don't know enough about him.
I am all the way in.
You're in? Okay.
I'm all the way in on Bogdan Bogdanović. I just don't see them having enough. You're going to have to get him. You're going to have to give up
who
things.
Is this?
Bogdan Bogdanović in Atlanta.
That's not the guy that we used to have, right?
No.
Okay.
You mean Ilyasova?
No. The guy who came over with Tobias Harris. Like the 7'9" guy?
Oh, Bobby. No, this is not. No, it's not
okay.
Bobby. Bobby's in Dallas.
Okay.
Bogdan Bogdanović is a torch thrower.
Oh,
like
okay.
just a flame throwing shooter. Cam Reddish, not interested. I don't
want him.
He's still young. Here's another name that's interesting, but he has a huge contract, so I don't think it's gonna work. Davies Bertans in
Bertans.
Yeah, in Washington. But his contract is insane.
Oh.
So I don't like he would fit.
I would love him on the Sixers.
Well, if you
squad.
like him, you would love Bogdanović. Bogdanović is a better version of him.
Yeah, but the thing is how big is how big is Bogdanović?
6'7", somewhere in there.
I think Bertans is close to a 7-footer.
I like that.
I mean, he's hurt right now. Bertans is hurt. He would look so good in this. Oh, go get him.
I just don't know with the contract if they're going to be able to make that work.
You're familiar with my little Hulu mishap, right? It's my Hulu account.
Oh yeah.
It still thinks I'm in Baltimore.
Yeah,
so I get a ton of. I
yeah.
watch a lot of Wizards games. Mm-hmm. I love that guy Bertans.
Me too. So those are names. Those are the new names that's kind of out here. Also, a name I forgot to mention: DeMar DeRozan now has been added to Marcus Aldridge as a guy. No. Really? No.
Out.
Okay. I would. DeRozan's another guy I wouldn't be angry at. He's an unselfish guy that can get you 20 when he needs to. But all right, so those names have not been linked to the Sixers. Here are names been linked to the Sixers. Kyle Lowry, we know. JJ Redick, we know.
Ooh.
Redick's back. Redick, and actually, here's the thing about Redick. Redick won't really probably affect the trade market because it looks like New Orleans and Redick are heading towards a buyout.
See, the thing about Redick, though, is that obviously he didn't win a championship like this other guy I'm about to say is. Mm-hmm. I just don't want them to go after Redick to try to for the same like nostalgic reasons of Foles. Like, is Redick?
I think he still has to
actually.
Okay,
I was gonna say
Don't
bring him on just because he was here for the last 2 seasons.
JJ Redick is a highly conditioned athlete. Like he takes extreme great care of his body. He can run for days. He can shoot for days. And him, like you like say what you want to say about him. Him and Embiid had amazing chemistry, and
Embiid
that was one of the reasons why Embiid's play dipped last year was missing that connection with a guy. And he's kind of trying to build that with Seth Curry. You see him working on that time connection he had with Redick, but like he had an amazing connection with JJ Redick on the court and off the court, but definitely on the court. Lonzo Ball, we talked about. George Hill.
There's a difference in these names between buyout and trade.
Here's a name.
If we're talking buyout, that's a different story.
Here's a name that has me excited. That is an under radar name that I would love to have on this team because I see how great this guy could be. He's been inconsistent. But the greatness is there. Lauri Markkanen in Chicago. Lauri Markkanen's game.
Apparently, if you're going to believe certain personalities on Twitter, he's already been traded to the Sixers.
What?
Like I said, if you're willing to believe certain Twitter personalities,
are you gonna put a name on that, or let that keep it moving?
I can, but I have to look it up because I don't know it off the top of my head.
Let's put a name on that.
Vin something. I know his name's Vin.
I mean, I listen. I think Lauri Markkanen would be because here's the thing. Lauri Markkanen starts on this team, and then you take out Danny Green and bring him off the bench, which against what we talked about is like if we're gonna do this, we need either to get.
Here we go.
Okay.
He goes on Twitter by @VinFosh. Okay, everybody knows that this dude is basically a hack. He claims that he broke the Bryce Harper signing. He claims he broke the Carson Wentz trade. He claims he's broken the Joe Girardi hiring. He's claimed he broke the Daryl Morey hiring. So what he does is he just throws out every possible scenario as linked to so that when one of them
happens,
hits,
I did that.
Did it.
Yeah.
So he released at 1:19 a.m. Source: Markkanen to Philadelphia is a done deal. Mike Scott, Vincent Poirier,
okay, and
a first-round pick heading back to Chicago. Now, like I said, if you're willing to believe certain,
I don't know. I haven't heard anything. That's because Lauri Markkanen is an under the radar name.
Let me just also say what he tweeted at 1:11 this morning.
Okay.
Sources say Sam Hinkie is a consultant with the 76ers, but he has asked that his involvement with the organization be kept confidential. Yeah. 7 minutes later, he tweeted about Markkanen.
Yeah.
Yes. So like I said, if you're willing to believe certain personalities, he's already been traded.
Yeah, I'm not willing to believe that.
All right.
As far as the Lowry stuff goes, Woj yesterday said the Raptors discussing Lowry and Powell and deals on multiple fronts. Those talks are expected to heat up and extend and perhaps even into Thursday. Philadelphia and Miami are interested in Lowry, but both have shown restraint in how far they'll go to get a deal. That makes me feel good because I don't want to like. Are you with me that Thibault's untouchable?
Yes.
Okay, because
hold on. Let me rephrase that. For the right price, no one is untouchable. So let me start by saying that. For the right price.
Mm-hmm.
But are you going to get something that will hit the price for him? No. So in this case,
if you're
he's
offering me
untouchable.
Zach LaVine, okay, we have to talk
That's
about
what I'm saying.
that.
Like if
I agree.
You know, if you're for the right price, for the right price, you can have Embiid. For the you can have anyone for the right price. No one is untouchable.
Right.
But it's just, will you get what you want for it? And the answer is probably not.
Right.
Like you said, if we're talking Zach LaVine, you have my attention. He's willing to do a sign and trade. You have my attention.
Right.
You got, Bradley Beal's willing to do a sign and trade. You got my, you have my attention.
Right.
But you're not going to get those.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see how it plays out later today with this, because it's nice to know. Like, it's always fun when you're the best team in the league and
Yes.
you know
You're going to get somebody.
You're doing something to make your team better.
Would you be
'Cause you know
disappointed?
you're going for a run.
Would you be disappointed
Yes.
if they don't make a move?
Yes. They can't stand pat. You can't, as much as I believe in what I'm seeing on the court and how good they've been,
You're
you're
need
still
something.
going to need something going into the playoffs. You got to do something. It doesn't need to be. I don't need a major splash. I just need something that's going to.
I need Bertans.
improve.
I didn't even know he was available.
Yeah, I mean he's a guy that's kind of been last year. There was a little bit of rumblings about him linked to the Sixers.
I love Bertans. I just have a hard time seeing the Wizards making a trade to the Sixers.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I like I said, I don't need a major splash. I just need you to get better. The thing I'm most concerned about, as everyone knows by now, is the bench. That's something that I want to see improved. Now, like I've said before, you can improve that bench two ways. You get a direct bench piece, or you get a better starter than you have than Danny Green or Seth Curry and move them to the bench.
Yeah.
Those are the two pathways to improving your bench.
Yeah.
But either way, you got to improve the bench.
Yeah.
This bench got to be better, because then you give me a nice rotation of 8 and 9 going to the playoffs. I feel great.
Yes.
I don't feel good. I feel great.
Now, before we get out of here, do you have any last second,
No.
any last minute free agency?
I don't.
Before we get out of here, we got to talk about Draymond's comments.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
I actually forgot about this. I'm glad you brought this back up.
I don't have the exact quote in front of me, so I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said, "I'm the best defensive player in the history of the NBA." Mm-hmm. You want to go first?
I love the confidence, but no, you're not. And
Well, did you see what Tony Allen said?
I did not, but I will say this: you might not be the best defensive player on your own team.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson has entered the chat, and
Thompson.
And the thing is, here's the deal. Here's my criteria for a guy who can make a claim like that. You have to consistently be guarding the best player on the other team. So the list of people that did that on a regular basis, you got Scottie Pippen, Tony Allen, Michael Jordan. A name.
Whoa! I did not realize how much Tony Allen went into him. I thought it was just one message. I didn't realize.
Read that in a second. And a name that people have forgotten about that I actually tweeted out yesterday, Bruce Bowen. Bruce Bowen was an insanely good defender. Guys like Gary Payton. Sidney Moncrief in the 80s.
Well, then you can. I mean, are you excluding big men from this conversation? Because that's
Tim Duncan.
I'll
put Tim Duncan in there.
What about Ben Wallace?
Ben Wallace is a guy I'll put in there. Joel Embiid is a guy I'll put in there. Ben Simmons is a guy I'll put in there. See with me when it comes to defense, I like the big man. Don't get me wrong, but
it's a different kind of defense.
I respect more the guy that looks at the best player on the other team and says, "That's my assignment," and then shuts him down.
Yeah, it's a different Embiid is a different kind of
different assignment.
Yeah, it's a different type of shutdown defender.
Now I will say about Embiid, he is kind of an exception to my big man rule, because I think his role in defense is a lot deeper than the typical big man.
Well, all right, let's say we'll say Kawhi Leonard plays defense much differently than Ben Wallace plays defense.
Correct.
They're both defensive.
Right. And that's another name I forgot.
Yeah,
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, they're both elite defensive players.
Yeah.
Different kind of defense.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I like Draymond.
It's like comparing it's like saying who's more of a dominant defensive player.
Yeah.
Reggie White or Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
Well, yes, they're both elite all-time defensive players, but it requires a different kind of defense.
I like Draymond a lot. I love his confidence. I love
Hall
the
of Famer,
fact
probably a
Hall of Famer, a
second-round pick,
a second round pick,
Michigan State,
right? All of that. I love Draymond. I love his confidence, but that's a wild claim, bro. It's an absolute wild claim, especially when I don't have a resume of you guarding anybody of note and shutting down. Like, I'm not saying you're not a really good defender, but like I said, I don't know if you're the best defender on your team.
So here we have Tony Allen, 6-time Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, Tony Allen was a beast.
Yep. Several.
He was what Patrick Beverley wants to be.
Several like I said, Defensive Players of the Year.
Yeah.
Several All NBA defensive. Got it all.
Different breed.
Says Big Cap, who stamped you? Who you clamp? In the words of Jay-Z, we don't believe you. You need more people.
Ooh!
To which Draymond responded, I was waiting on you to stamp me, big homie, but your stamp book started running low in 2015 when we used you against your team on the way to my first championship.
Okay, I mean, but the resume's there. So
to which Tony Allen responded,
"Oh,
like yo stamp book now, because it's 4-on-5 out there right now, my boy. Hashtag call Clay."
Oh no.
Draymond did not respond.
What do you say back to that? I mean, because I don't know if Draymond had forgot that he played with Klay Thompson. I think like Klay Thompson has had that reputation before he got hurt as the best two-way player in the NBA.
There was a point in time where it was him, Kawhi, and Jimmy Butler were considered the top three two-way players,
and he was the best two-way player in the NBA. Like Klay Thompson's shooting, we know how prolific he is a shooter, but defensively,
he would
Klay
often
Thompson
take the best guy.
Often. And that's how I look at it. That's my criteria for you. Are you willing to take the assignment and not just take the assignment, do well in the assignment? Like I've seen Klay Thompson put the clamps on people.
And then turn around and drop 35.
Yeah, I've seen it in real time. So it was irresponsible. It was a wild statement. Like I respect his confidence. I don't want to be too hard on him because like I like Draymond, but that was wild, bro. That Like there's so many people that I would put before you. That doesn't mean you're not a really good defender. That's what I'm saying. But there's so many more people I'll put ahead of you that I'm probably even forgetting about right now.
Oh, there's
that were really.
I mean, I'd have to sit down.
Incredible defenders.
I'd have to sit down and write up a list because I know I can't rattle off everybody who deserves credit just off the top of my head.
Yeah. I mean, and like even as if you want to stay true to the tradition of power forward, like you're not a better defender than Tim Duncan. It's not you. It's not who you are. And like the thing is, it hurts him too. Is that like you like these guys are guys that defended, but also were responsible for the other side of the floor too. Like they weren't just out here just defending and playing and rebounding. They were actually doing things on the other side of the floor to help their teams also.
Yeah.
So no, sorry, Draymond.
I just love Tony Allen calling him out.
Yeah, I mean, I had to hurt his feelings as a guy with a reputation. So you know I hurt his feelings.
Yeah, and I mean, at least for me personally, I don't want to speak for everybody because there's a lot of wild people out here in the world.
Yeah.
But when I say I hate an athlete, I don't actually hate
It's sports hate.
Yes, it's sports hate.
Yeah.
I hate Draymond Green.
You like as a person?
No. No,
sports hate.
Yeah,
I get
I wanted
it.
to preface that by
I
hate Draymond Green.
He's the Marcus Smart type, where he's not on your team. Like Amber, I told her she hates Marcus Smart. And like I explained to her along. I get it. I understand. I was like, but I tell you what, if he was here, you love him. You love having. That's another name that's been linked to trade rumors. Marcus Smart, which is interesting.
Have you heard what's going on up there with Boston? I believe it was Jaylen Brown said it.
Uh-oh.
I think it was Jaylen Brown, but it actually may have been Marcus Smart that said it. One of them basically hinted at we have some ego problems in the locker room.
The only person I can think of you talking about is Jason Tatum.
Yeah, but he didn't say it, though. Like I know for a fact the quote didn't come from Tatum.
No, I'm saying the only person I think of that's would be the Eagle guys, Tatum, right? The guy I think they're talking about?
No, I think it's Brown and Tatum
Combined.
butting heads.
Oh, they're butting heads.
I mean, that's like he didn't come out and say it. That's what I gathered from reading the whole.
It's hard when you have
you have two guys averaging 25 a game.
You have two guys that are that talented, and that even. Like it's even. Like you know what I mean? Like Embiid and Simmons works.
If you were to poll all 30 GMs, who would you rather have, Tatum or Brown? I bet you'd be pretty
close.
Pretty close.
Because Brown's a better defender than Tatum.
Much better.
So you're getting those off his numbers, and you're getting elite defense also. Now, this is what we run into when you have two guys who are so close. Because with Embiid and Simmons, they're both star players, do different things, but it's not that close. Like Embiid is a way better player than Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Like right now, I think, and then you go out to LA with LeBron and AD. Yeah, it's closer. However, LeBron has come out and said, "Yo, AD's the guy. That's the man. That's the dude. That helps."
Yeah.
This has not been that. These are two. They're like what, 22, 23?
Like 23, 24, something like
they're
that.
kids. So
Yes.
like both of them want the throne. So I can see it. I can see how it could cause problems, but something to keep an eye on. We're also going to keep an eye on.
Jaylen Brown is 24.
Okay.
And Jason Tatum is 23.
Okay. So yeah, you got pups. You got pups, and you know, you got to and Brad Stevens seems like a guy that could have trouble controlling a superstar type player.
Well, right now he's I mean, I know he shot it down, but he's linked to basically every major college vacancy for a head coach.
Yeah, this might be a little much for him now. Like when he first came on the scene, Boston didn't have those superstar type players. They were a grinder. It was a perfect scenario for him. They're a grinder, muck it out type of team.
Another thing though that helped him is having Gordon Hayward, who he
coached at Butler,
scout, recruited out of high school.
Yeah, they were grinded. You had the Al Horfords, the Marcus Smarts, the Isaiah. I think he coached Isaiah Thomas. Pretty sure.
I believe you're correct with that.
I think he coached Isaiah Thomas, but he had those type of players. I'll put it that way. When the Sixers, when they played in the playoffs 2 years ago, Jason Tatum was a child at that point. He was very, very young. And he wasn't the senior on that team.
No.
You had guys like Scary Terry Rozier, guys like that. Those are guys that Brad Stevens coaches really well. Mm-hmm. But now Tatum's a superstar. Brown's in that territory.
He was there.
Yeah, I thought so. Those are underachiever type players. Now you're getting the superstar type personality guys. I don't know that Brad Stevens has got to coach guys like that. And now you look back at college and you're saying, maybe I need to get myself back over here. Because he hasn't done he's done a good job in Boston. They haven't won a championship, but he's done a good job there. It would be a good time for him to walk away and go back to college.
Yes.
This would be a good time for him to do that because now you're not going to get a Butler. You're gonna get maybe a blue blood school.
I want to say he's linked to Indiana. There
you go. Indiana. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Brad Stevens in Indiana. You talk about a match made in heaven.
I mean,
that would be perfect.
I mean, he's basically going home. He's born and raised in Indiana. He's
And Brad Stevens also too he's like 41, 42,
44,
44. So he could be there for 30 years, easy. And that's and also too. It's
coming off of having 8 years in the NBA.
It's a huge program and a program that needs resurrection.
Yeah,
like they haven't been the same since the Bobby Knight days.
Yeah, no, he's
so like that would be a great spot for him.
He's come out and verbally shot it down, but
they always do.
We all know that.
We all know you're listening.
Yeah, we that doesn't.
And Indiana has the capital where they can give you a nice offer and make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
So that'll be something to keep an eye on, but. We're going to be keeping an eye on the trade deadline today.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure that everyone is, and we'll be back to talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure, man. Get after it.
Follow me at Marques B. Tweeting everywhere.
Follow me at Justin Emery Show on Twitter. 10% off your orders from Beef Jerky Outlet. Use promo code BREMY.
Yes, sir.
Get all of your merch at BradAndMemoryShow.com.
Yes, sir. Brad Memory Pod everywhere. Until next time, you can be with us, you can be against us, but you're never going to stop us. Late.